All right, can we stop destroying our websites? I've seen this one decision destroy millions of dollars worth of traffic and basically wipe rankings overnight. If you're thinking about changing your domain or rebuilding your website to a new CMS, moving from Wix, moving from Weebly, you might like the sound of a .ai domain, .co domain, or someone has sold you a new website and you already have a mature brand. Just, you need to know this stuff. I've been ranting about it for a while, and it seems like every day I get a website that lands on my desk where the traffic dip has just fallen off a cliff. I had a criminal lawyer recently, I had a physio, a financial advisor. You go back through my daily phone calls that I'll get and it's, hey, help me understand what went wrong here. And almost always the default thing that I look at is, okay, what's changed with the site? Oh, yeah, of course, we built a new website. Oh, okay, the plumbing wasn't connected. Page by page redirection wasn't done. So a domain is such a crucial part of SEO. So domain changes can destroy or potentially unlock massive growth, right? So most design agencies, most web developers will happily sell a new website, but take no consideration for the maturity of the SEO campaign, the maturity of the old pages. And what happens is a new beautiful website goes up, sometimes like a one pager goes up, and there used to be 30 pages, and those 30 pages aren't even redirected to that one home page. And what basically is happening is, for years Google has seen 10 pages on the site indexed, or 20 pages or 500 pages on the site indexed, and all of a sudden it's seeing 404. So I wanted to record this video as a bit of a guide, bit of a strategy, tips of things that you should know before flicking the switch to the new domain, before rebuilding. So I've never seen, I'd say 90% of the cases that I've seen, catastrophes. Hundreds of pages are basically sending users to dead 404 pages, redirections not set into place, especially when the company wants to go global. What does that even mean? And they've no Ahrefs lang set up, which gets quite technical. Someone that is doing that migration needs to understand the ability to send geo traffic to various sections of the site, or potentially multiple domains need to be thrown into it. Most companies lose 50% of traffic instantly, and then it keeps getting worse and worse as Google updates and cleans up those dead pages that are simply moved. Proper recovery from this can take up to a year more. It depends on how long those pages were dead for. Sometimes I'll get a client hit me up and their old site was, the new site was deployed a few months ago. It's sure, we'll go and build out those pages, but it's a huge delayed effect. It's like Google Maps updating their new suburb or a change in streets. It takes them a while for that little cart to visit with the little camera. Well, same with this. It's not as slow. We're talking about the Google index, but Google does take a while to update things. So quick reality check. You're changing your domains, which is like moving your physical store, right? You've got a physical store on this street. You're going to change its location. Some people are going to get confused, right? In this case, Google's going to be confused, and you can do all the updates in the world, but if you change the actual URL, be it a new domain, there needs to be a precise 301 page by page redirection set up. So you're essentially educating Google, hey, this page was here, now it's there, essentially reconnecting the plumbing of SEO juice, and essentially so Google doesn't freak out that something dodgy is going on, because Google is one of those guilty until proven innocent, and as soon as something changes they crap themselves, be like, hold on, is there something dodgy going on? Has this website been hacked? Now there might be valid reasons to these migrations. There might be legal reasons, there might be trademark reasons. I'm not saying don't do them, I'm just saying that a lot of the reasons that I hear are not valid reasons. And if you want to get traffic in a different country or a different city or whatnot, you just build that geo page as long as it's in the same language. So language is another reason to do something like this, where you have China dot whatever, right? So there are a lot of valid reasons to do it. So true international expansions with substantial localized content. The content on those sections needs to be very different. Otherwise, you're just duplicating the same thing, which is commonly what's presented to me. Why don't we just duplicate the site to United Kingdom or USA or Canada? Why? What are we trying to achieve here? A really common one that I get is the new domain sounds better. Oh, we want to have the main keyword in the new domain as well. Okay, look, I'm a big believer that an SEO keyword should be in the domain. So I created this very simple checklist. Let's run through it. Most migrations, most new sites that are being deployed that I personally see, this is a 90% of my own personal experience. I'm meant to be sharing my screen. I'm not sharing my screen. Now I'm sharing my screen. Here we go. 90% of the businesses that get the migration wrong. The term migration, it just means changing my site and changing the URL. Sometimes it might be as simple as HTTPS or dub. That's not as severe. The big stuff that I'm talking about today is when you are changing complete URLs from one to another. There's a .co, .nz, .au, etc. That's where things go pretty bad. No matter how well you execute this, you can expect a traffic loss almost instantly. And even when things go perfect, I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I've done my fair share of these. When you prepare as best as you can for this kind of stuff, there's still going to be a big loss. I'll give you an example. There was a domain which we progressed from 2020 and we peaked at 16,000 organic visitors when the business was sold. And so what you're looking at here is the date of the migration. You can check out the domains long gone. I think that both companies went into liquidation or something like that. But we had a really good SEO campaign. This was a national IT company, cloud solutions, business phone systems, VoIP. We outranked the likes of Telstra, Cisco. We did crazy campaigns. So I was so protective of this. I put so much love and passion into this particular campaign. We built them like 800 pages, lots of blogs. This was 2020 as well, 2021. So what you're looking at here is the traffic moving upwards, and then the new company that purchased them, basically we did a precise redirection where we prepared. It took months to prepare, not months, it took a while to prepare. Yeah, months. In October, we made the redirection and it shot up. What you're looking at is at its peak here, it was 16,000 visitors a month roughly. And at its highest, it was 6,000 visitors monthly, 7,000 visitors, so 6,200 visitors monthly. So you can see. Now, why would this happen? Why wouldn't you just transfer everything? You have to understand that this original domain that's existed for many years has a lot of backlinks pointing at that particular domain. All of a sudden, those websites, those backlinks, those mentions, those votes of confidence are pointing to a different domain they may not be familiar with. They're not pointing directly at that domain. They're still pointing at forum, this one here, but there's a 301 redirection. A lot of people don't like it. They remove their links. But in essence, the juice was all connected to that original domain. So this is where we're seeing a slow death over time of what happens when you just do the redirection. That was quite costly for them in terms of the development cost to execute this, but sadly the SEO campaign didn't continue after that and they just fizzled off, and now that domain is no more. I think that business sold as well. So whatever troubles happened to one domain, not the domain, the business, I'm not sure what went on there, but from a technical standpoint. So valid reasons, legal requirements, when you've got trademark disputes, you've used a brand, the keyword that you shouldn't be using, or some sort of illegal reasons. Valid reasons is a true international expansion with localized content. That means where there are sections of the site completely in that language or completely geo-relevant to that particular space. major business pivot. Now, there's probably millions of other valid reasons. I'm not here to say don't do this. I'm just here to say be careful when you do this and make sure whoever's doing it has SEO experience, not just I do SEO ability. Ask them, hey, how do we make sure that we don't lose SEO? Ask them those questions. How do we make sure? And if they're confident and if they can show you a track record of getting things done, then you do it. Valid reasons, new domain sound not invalid reasons. New domain sounds better. I want keywords in domain. Competitor has similar domain. Don't do that. Now look, if your domain is only a few weeks or a few months old, no problem, no risk. All of this is only a risk is if your domain was already ranking, already bringing leads, already getting traffic. You want to retain that, right? Now, the 2 migration paths. You can go down the path of one domain, and then / country. And that's what the likes of, I think, Zero have done, MYB have done. See, it redirected the .com.au to the .au. That's the true way of doing it. This can get quite technical. I'm personally not a fan, but that's the only way to do that. So Apple, using apple.com for everything, that makes sense. If you can pick up the .com.au, just .com domain. Look, domains shouldn't matter until they do, and sadly they do. No matter what Google tells us, I've just seen that a .ai or .au instead of .com.au, just some of them just get stuck and don't perform. And there's just nothing anyone from Google will tell you about it. So the benefits of going down this path is it's consolidating the SEO authority. It's easier for technical management. One back-end systems. The throwbacks is you require strong geo-targeting. So someone that knows how to do Ahrefs slang really well. Complex setups here because it can go real bad real quick. The other option is having unique sites for each country. This would be the conservative way to initially roll this out. So you have your domain.com.au, you've had that for 10 years, great, and you want to make this shift, but initially you're not going global just yet, you just want to target, let's say, New Zealand. So my 5 cents there is pick up the New Zealand domain, build it out as a unique site, no content plagiarized at all. You still need to use Ahrefs slang, still need to learn how to do that, but it's less technical than if it was the full site here. But basically telling us, hey, we are the same brand as the one in Australia, but we are the New Zealand variation of it. Now the benefit of that, there could be a cheeky SEO benefit, is now you have 2 sites that are interlinking with each other. From Google's standpoint, that's 2 brand sites. That's good. Better for local SEO rankings. Traffic from New Zealand will appreciate the .nz domain. They will click on the .nz versus the .com or the .com.au. Clear geotagging relevance, local credibility. So that's the benefit there. So you get a big win versus a .com or .ai domain, right? Drawbacks, you're splitting the SEO authority, which means it needs its own SEO campaign. It needs its own cluster of blogs. But those blogs, those guides, those pages will be geo-relevant to that country. Multiple management of CMSs, that means obviously double the work. If you're rolling things out on one site, updating pricing and things like that, you got to do it on both sites, which obviously means general higher costs. You're doing 2 SEO campaigns. The increase of SEO is going to happen anyway if you want to expand, because you're going to be building backlinks for that section anyway, so you can't. The higher cost will be high anyway. Just this high cost comes at the cost of development. Technical non-negotiables must happen. I want you to look at it as we're picking up your house and we're relocating your house. We're picking up the walls, we're picking up the foundation. And what we're doing is we're splitting up all the rooms, and then we're putting it back together, and the plumbing has to be intact. Or we are relocating a Google map or a suburb, and we're picking it up and putting it somewhere there, and the plumbing, the flow of SEO juice, the Google Maps has to continue flowing. Means we need to reconnect the plumbing. If we had page 1 here that talks about this, how to choose a wedding dress, we need to tell it, this was the old page, Mr. Google. Here's the new page. Crystal clear. You're updating Google Search Console. You're doing Ahrefs tags for international. Tells Google which content serves which region. Update all internal links. Right, so you use something like Screaming Frog. You use something like Ahrefs audits. There's a lot of pre-deployment auditing that needs to happen. So as you're about to flick the switch, somebody needs to go through the planned demo environment site, and then after it's deployed, they need to go through it again to make sure you're keeping an eye on Google Search Console daily to see what kind of errors will come up. You're running a Screaming Frog audit, you're running a Sitebulb audit, you're running an Ahrefs audit. I know that sounds overkill, but I just like additional eyeballs on certain things. And just be mindful, a lot of these tools, Ahrefs and SEMrush, they're great, but they make money by telling you have problems, right? So you got to just take things with a grain of salt. I know I'm going devil's advocate here a little bit. So you're obviously going to submit the new sitemaps, and this goes without saying, you're going to be monitoring it heavily. If SEO is important, you're going to have an SEO agency or someone that knows this stuff, that's watching the keyword rankings, things moving up and down. A keyword will just disappear from Google, and the first thing you're going to be looking at, hold on, what do we do with the page? Has it been redirected, or what's happening? Here's an example. 3 versions of the pricing page: AU pricing, UK pricing, US pricing. So you're basically telling Google where to send traffic. Really important. So content globalization challenge. Now, you're going to be rewriting the content for it to be localized and unique. You can rank a com domain in Australia. Happens all the time. Not often you can rank a CA, which is a Canadian. So you can rank an Australian domain in UK. It's just that its click-through rate won't be that good. Someone in UK would prefer to click on their own local brand. But maybe your product doesn't exist up there, so they will click. But if it's an Australian specific domain, how we saved Brisbane's brewery 30% on shipping costs. Afterwards, if we're talking about the global case study, how we reduce shipping costs for craft breweries across three continents. Right, same thing, different way of wording things. So obviously there's Z's and S's between US and AU English. Content transformation process. Identify regional specific language, currency regulations, create international case studies, update all meta tags, localized for each market. So that's what you do afterwards. Now, better alternatives. This is what when my client hits me up and says, Eugenius, we're going international. I say, what does that mean? Instead of doing a full migration, we can literally just do /UK. Now that won't work on a .com.au domain. We can redesign to keep the domain authority. We can redirect individual pages, fix specific URL issues. We can improve UX content, more impactful than migration. Instead of migrating, we improve website design, enhance. We've done this many times where we say, hey, we don't feel like there's enough of a reason to do this migration. So I hope that helps. I'm not saying don't do. These are very relevant, very needed to be done, but just ask questions. Why are we doing this? And whoever's doing it, have they done this before? Have they migrated a domain before and retained SEO? No one's going to ever be able to guarantee that SEO rankings are never lost, even when things go perfect. Things always dip, as from what I've experienced, no matter how clean the migration was. So many variables at play. So whoever's doing it, make sure they have experience in the space. Otherwise, seek help from an SEO specialist. Do not contact me. Too busy. Hence this video, just to give you some value. Find someone with experience. Ideally, find someone with experience on that CMS. So if you're using Wix or Weebly or Squarespace or Craft or whatever it is, or WordPress, find someone that is able to do SEO migrations to retain SEO value. Throw that into ChatGPT. Lots of people around the world, but it's someone that is just a website designer or web dev generally doesn't have experience in this space. Can they flick it live? Absolutely. Will there be lots of dead pages? Yes. Will those dead pages piss off Google and Google doesn't want to send users to a 404 dead page? Will that leave a black mark on your site for months, potentially years? Yes. I see it all day, every day. Hope that helps. Let me know if you have any questions.